Hey there and welcome to checking out the Daiyokai Dengekitai, or big, huge, heavy, power armored suit for samurai. And so we're just going to be checking out the mold, the molding, how easy it is to assemble. You know the crack by now. Or if you're new, thank you for checking in and I hope this is of some use to you. Here we have all the components then. So first up we've got the left leg, torso, one of the back banners. And then we've got the right leg, torso, other part of the torso, back banner. The top of the head is also in here, so that these will mesh together as like a crossover, interlacing kind of thingy whatnot. Then this is the chest piece, which is also the bottom half of the head and chest here. Top part of each arm, hand with sword. Spiky bits, horny bits, whichever you prefer really, for sticking on the helmet. And then the two scabbards for which are different lengths, which would infer that one's a katana and one is a wakizashi, which would be the traditional long and short sword of the samurai, which I can't remember at what point, but traditionally Bushi carried both swords, Bushi being warrior, and samurai were made legally the only ones allowed to carry both the short and the long sword. I can't remember, like I say, where. I think it might be in the beginning of the Meiji era, but don't take my word, go and look it up for yourselves if you're interested. So, next up we'll just have a look at the casting quality. Here we have the left torso, top of the head, right hand wing thing that goes on his back, and the ejection point comes straight in through the foot. We've got a cast line running all the way over his bonds, over the edge of the, I want to call it a banner, fin banner wing thing. It's very like traditional Japanese things. Odd to have the coolie hat really on this kind of guy, but you can see there's a cast line running over the top of his head, kind of down the fin, over his calf. Other than that, we've just got various release points in the moulding, toe, corners of things on the edge of the helmet, bottom of the fin banner thingy whatnot. Super clean other than that. Here we have the other half of the build done, and again injection point through the foot. I think the other foot is the one which has the point for sticking into the base. Again, slight cast line running around the edge, release point in various corners, tips of the bannery, flaggy, whatnot. Other than that, super clean. And these are going to be like an interlacing thing. I will just show them how they interlace. It's pretty simple. Again, much like with the Spec Ops guy, very clever build here in terms of making a very strong model without compromising on detail, and how the details mesh together is very clever. Here is the bottom of the face / chest piece then, and you can see the injection point is on the front of the chest, which is really irritating. I don't understand why they didn't do an internal one somewhere in here, out of the way, somewhere which would be easy to crop still. Maybe the miniature entirely fills itself up on the interior, but what the heck. That's going to be a paid to remove because it's following on a curved line, so then it's going to be a cutaway, and then you know, that thing you do, file, that's the word, to make it all smooth again. Other than that, we've got a few release points, and then sort of running around the edge this way we have a slight cast line. Here's the two upper arms then. One injection point here coming into this nodule, so you just cut it clean, fine. Other injection point coming into the plate on the top of the arm here. That's going to be a slight, it'll probably be fairly easy. It's a pretty smooth one, even though it's following a curve. The curve is only ever so slight, so it's virtually a straight line. Other than that, we're just looking at release points, just a few of them around. And there's no real cast lines to speak of on this one, so it's all pretty clean. Square slotting again, so that everything, it's a one pose model. Corvus Belli do these exceptionally well. Here we have the two sword arms then, again on a single sort of metal sprue. Injection points are running in at the back of the tips of the plates, which means you're cutting a square cut. This is the best kind of cut from my point of view. A little bit of cleaning up to do on the swords, not a lot of, and again no real cast lines to speak of. Well, not that I've found anyway. And just release points, release points, release points, release points. Even on the sword, these are just release points really. That I don't think they're not flash or anything. So super clean casting. Finally then, we've got these horny bits. These will finish off the headpiece, which does have the front edge is missing, so that forms the leading edge of his head as well. Which is very clever because it's using the shape of the plating, so that rather than having just slots for the horns to stick into, there's a plate that leads around the front edge, which is like a peak for the entire hat. So in the model, and then they've actually made this piece fit that plating so that they've been able to cast one piece, and it keeps it all seamless so that you won't notice any stupid lines where you don't want any outside of where the plates are meant to be in the head unit. Then we've got the two sheaths for the swords here. Again, there's a bit of a cast line ring around them. Injection point into a square, I'm happy with that. Injection point into flat surfaces on the bottom edge here, happy with that. Couple of release points, and these will need some cleaning up. That's unsurprising because I tend to find with these smaller, flatter, squarer things that there is quite commonly these cast lines left. Sorry, words were escaping me for a second there. So just to show you what I mean, this is how they interlace. So you've got the two pieces, that's the main piece, and this is the other piece. This is the left leg, the head and the torso, this is the right leg and the rest of the torso. And they just slot together in a cross shape at the back. And then that forms your mini. And as you can see, it's immediately, it's a very sturdy way of doing it. Keeps everything pretty simple, stupid, sweet. Keeping it stupid simple is just what we like. Goes together very easy, very cleanly. Also, again, they've been very clever with the way they've made the plates mesh so that the cuts are all done in a way that it allows for individual armor plates, which are meant to have lines running around the edges, or sort of to identify them in the normal sculpt. The actual cutaway is where those lines would be. So there you have it. It's a pretty simple thing, and then your chest piece will just fit in. So I'm going to get this all cleaned up and get it assembled. I've got a funny feeling this is going to be one of the easiest assemblies, which is really funny because I recently assembled a Karkata, and the Karkata has been singly the most horrible Infinity miniature to assemble. It comes with the Danovas hacker, and it's meant to be the remote for the Marat, but you don't get it with the Marat. It's all very confusing really. So this is going to be an absolute joy to assemble because it pretty much assembles itself and forms an awesome looking mini. So I'll get back to you in a mo and I will report back on how easy it has been to assemble and clean up. Here's my core body, everything's set up and ready to go, all glued. It's only taking about 20 minutes to clean up everything. And then next up I'm just going to be inserting in this bit in here. And what you might notice is there's a couple of curves at the back of here. There's a curve in the back of this. And these curves are actually what the arms slot into. So you don't want to be bunging them up, and like you could, because you could assemble this with like green stuff or epoxy. Just if you are going to do that, be careful with your contact points. I'm using super glue because that's my preference. So I'm going to get the rest assembled. I'll be back in a moment. Here you go then, all assembled, ready to paint, ready to go. And the hardest part of this mini has been restraining myself from building it too quickly, waiting for glue to dry and such forth. So do be patient, like some kind of Jedi master. But on a more sort of serious note, very easy to go together. The hardest part's been the two-piece arms, just the first section, the way it fits in, and also took a bit of finger strength and wiggle factor to get the chest to actually sit in place. But it's a very tight fit, you see, so if you don't have finger strength you might want to get somebody with a bit more finger strength in order to just force it into place, because the last thing you want is for that to glue to set and it to be out of place, so that when you have a like proper look around, you have gaps where you just don't want gaps. And I'm pretty happy though, because I would say that although you can do some filling work on this if you really like, I actually quite like how it is, and I'm going to rely on my underpainting, I think, in order to fill it. It gives a nice sense of space to the mini, I think. Also, I wasn't keen on this one. I wasn't sure about the flags and fins and whatnot, but seeing it in the flesh, totally different ball game. This is a lovely mini, corpse belly. I've done it once again. So, call me or not, you decide. And again, I hope it's been of some use and interest to you in whatever it is you're doing, and maybe it might help you decide whether you want the JSA Army Pack. If it's presumably it's still available. So it's taken me rather a long time to get through all of this stuff. I'm not the fastest of getting stuffs done around. So thanks for watching, have a good one and take care. Bye bye.